Right then, welcome to Ryan's Road podcast number 15. Honestly, every time I say that number and it sounds like I'm saying it like I'm unsure of what number it is, that's genuine. I'm honestly unsure. I think we're on number 15. So, yes. If you're new to Ryan's Road, if you're unfamiliar with the podcast, I don't know what to say to you. Honestly, just go back and watch them. I do like to say, go back to the start because I think that's best. Because the way I do the podcast, I like to feel like it's a journey, and anyone that's listened to it so far, from the start to up to now, will feel like they're a part of the podcast. I like to believe that. I like to feel I put that across. If you're already losing interest because you want to know what the fuck you on about, what's this podcast about, I'll just talk about life shit, man. Like I ain't that fucking niche. This ain't about specifically people with fucking erectile dysfunction or, want to play tennis. I don't fucking know. My imagination's lost me right now. But I'll just talk about life because in my head, the way I perceive things is that the way we deal with life, it's very much like physical health. We should all exercise regularly. I think that's pretty much a given. Whether people do it or not, it's pretty much recognised that, really you should exercise to some extent regularly. Even the ones that don't do it recognise they should, but they don't. Right. My twist on this with my podcast is that I don't want to say mental health because there's a stigma to that and it pisses me off, but more of a mindset, and that just how you go about your life is that how you approach your own life, how you think about things, how you handle people around you, situations around you, all that sort of stuff. It's something that you need to keep tabs on regularly, to be aware of yourself, to be self-aware, and be sure that you're on the right path and you're going forwards with your life, sort of thing. So that's a rough gauge of what my podcast is about. Right, that's out of the way. This week I want to touch on a couple little things, but they're all kind of melded together, I think. And as always, it's more just things that I've pondered on naturally, and I thought, right, okay, I'll talk about this on the podcast because it's why I started doing a podcast. Relatability. Feeling like you can relate to someone. It's just so fucking huge that I just think it's ridiculous. Not in a bad way. Not that's fucking stupid. That's ridiculous. Just like, wow, it's so impactful in your relationships, and a lot of it's via struggle. I've noticed. So if you meet someone, I know whether it's a new friend or a work colleague and things like that, and you get chatting, and then let's say for instance you had a shitty childhood with a step parent, and I'm just reeling off some circumstances now. Step parent, and maybe you've had a couple of shitty relationships where, sorry if anyone on YouTube, I'm fucking around my eye as I'm talking because there's something in my eye. Let's say you've been cheated on a couple of times. What else could there be? I know you struggle with weight loss or something. So no, you meet someone and it turns out they've got all those things in common, so they can relate to you. There's some part of you that feels like they suddenly understand and know you better than anyone else you know, because we all relate through struggle, because struggle is such a big part of life, and this is kind of the main theme of this week's podcast, and I like to think of the podcast series in general, because literally we all fucking struggle, and the ones that say they don't are talking out their fucking arse. They might struggle less than others, but I mean, it's nice every now and then you'll get someone that's really high celebrity, and they will put, there's a guy that I follow called Gary Vaynerchuk, and he does more things about social media and stuff like that. And I'm sure I saw a post not long ago from him saying I think it's between 5 and 10 days of the whole year he just wants to give up and quit. And it's wow, because all his content, his podcasting, his vlogs, and he's all about, it's all inspirational, helping people to achieve their best and everything. And you just assume that when you perceive someone that's doing so fucking well in life, let's say financially and career-wise and everything, that just seem happy, that you just assume that their life is perfect all the time, rosy, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365. But it ain't. They struggle because why? Because they're fucking human. This is what I wish was more fucking out there was that everyone fucking struggles. Everyone. Just in varying degrees. And this is why, with this relatability thing, when you meet someone that you feel can relate to your struggles exactly, honestly, it makes you feel a bit fuzzy inside, you know, it makes your fucking pussy get wet and your dick get hard. Not literally, but I mean, it's that, like, there's something there. It's like, yes, like, you know, if someone starts reeling off something that they're talking about, let's say they're complaining or anything like that, and they're just saying something about circumstance, like a struggle and whatnot, and they're like, oh fucking hell, going to kids like, oh, ain't it hard when you got too close together and then the one cries at night, then he's waking up the other one because, you know, you ain't got loads of fucking money and they're both in the same fucking room. That's touching close to home because I've got 3 young kids myself. But, you know, and then someone else will be like, right, yeah, right, and you just their eyes all light up, and they'll be like, ain't it? Like, I know, right? Fucking yes. Like, because in your head you're like, someone gets it, someone understands the struggle that I go through. But it honestly, it creates such a tight link when you get that. It's fucking nuts. And it's interesting because it works in both ways, where you can get that positivity from it, where you can be like, oh, like, I think, yeah, girls will say it, or women, sorry, will say it more in the phrase of, oh, she totally gets me. When they say that, it's because they relate to the struggles normally, and views, opinions, sort of things due to struggles. Guys, I don't know how guys would word it actually, other than like, oh, he's fucking sound ears, maybe. Not too sure in other languages, cultures, whatnot. But I'm pretty sure anyone listening to this and has listened to me rabbit about this so far in this episode there must be dinging bells, and you're like, yeah, you're right, because it is. It's fucking right, man. You know it. You know that's how it is when you meet someone, like, and that's why you have friends that are like, I know, what would I say? Like, for me, example, it's the easiest example to use. I'm really into my cars. Well, I used to be when I was younger, and I used to have like a car, and I wouldn't say I street raced, but I kind of did. But I really liked like my rocky rap music, sort of, like, really love my music and stuff. So I found I'd have different groups of friends. Like, I'd have my car friends, and then I'd have like my old school friends, but that were like more like my musical kind of friends. And you kind of dip like that. And like now, being older, I've got like my friends that are parents that I've met like through my kids, or like there's people that I know from go-karting. Again, that's through my son because he go-karts, so I call like my go-kart dad friends, sort of thing, that I know. San, if you listen to this, that's you. You know, you get different, because obviously within those little bubbles, they can relate to that part of you. So I guess I'm half bullshitting now, because that's not necessarily a struggle, but it's still the relatability thing. When it's a struggle, it's a lot tighter. It is. That's like a real strong thing if you can relate through struggle. I think I find that personally with the go-karting thing when I talk to the dads, because the go-karting is very fucking financial. So me and the dads I know that we will talk together, and it will basically relate through the struggle of how fucking hard it is to afford it, and then talking about the other families and parents that can afford it, not even in a bitchy way, just more of like, it's just matter of fact, like they can because they've got the fucking money, man, to like go out every weekend or every week and practice and go to all these different races and give their son or daughter all the time they need to get better. Whereas like the little group I'm in, it's like, I mean, me myself, my son ain't been go-karting this year, I don't think, or at least for a good few months, because I can't fucking afford to take him. So that's what I mean, along that line. And obviously with my cars, it was more just like, well, we're all into fucking cars, this is fun. So you do get the fun side of it as well, with the relatability. Whereas if it's something you enjoy, and you might have other friends that don't enjoy, say, paintballing or football. I don't like football, but that's a fucking common one. So you probably got your football mates that you watch the match with. I like American football as well. That's one as well, isn't it? So you probably got like your sport friends. You know, you go and watch the matches with them and whatnot and all that sort of stuff. But then you probably just got like you're chilling, or like, maybe like your game friends that you all meet up to play Dungeons and Dragons once a month or once a week or something, because you're all into your fucking game and your board games. I'd love to have a crack at that. You know what I mean? So it's just this relatability thing, and I just find it really interesting that that's how we choose almost to build our bonds with people. It's through that commonality type thing. So, like I say, it is nice from the things that we do where we can relate because we both do it and we both enjoy something. It's like, oh, you do that too? Oh, yes, so do I. And you kind of get along. But the struggle side of things is what I really want to lean into, because that's when you get like your best friends. That's when you get people that you're really fucking close to because you've fucking struggled with them. Why do you think when you get people, what was that old like war series, Band of Brothers? Why do you often think that army soldiers that have gone through some sort of army scenario together, are kind of, what do they call it when they go and leave? I forget the terminology for it. Oh no, fuck it, it'll come to me later. That thing when they leave and they go off to a war or something, and they do it with a bunch of people, they often say, my brothers, don't they? They'll call them their brothers, not their work colleagues. And that's because they've fucking struggled together, because they've had to do early nights together, because they've had to go through really hard fucking training together. They've had early fucking mornings, like getting out and getting on patrol and like fucking nearly dying or maybe losing friends together, dealing with death or near death and all that. That'll fucking get you. That's fucking struggle, that is. And then they're not just friends afterwards, they're fucking brothers. And why do you differentiate a friend from a brother? Because of the bond. Because of the closeness. And you'd only create that if you felt it was a bigger bond. And why is it a bigger bond? Because you struggled together. Because there was a struggle there and you did the same. Either that's obviously the best example because you've literally done the struggle together as a team, side by side, doing it together. But it's almost just as close if they then meet someone that's done the same thing somewhere else, not necessarily together. It's like, oh, you did that too, my brother. You know what I mean? Because it's that fucking strong. It's nuts. I'm just gonna flip the camera back out. I left the camera flap around the side so I didn't look at myself, but I use it to check the time. That's right. Because you might remember from previous podcasts, for anyone that's been listening, my camera cuts out after half hour. So I try and clock it before it gets to 30 minutes so that I can stop the camera, otherwise it will literally cut off halfway through me talking. Again, apologies to those just listening, because it makes no difference to you. Anyone that missed last week's, by the way, I'm trying to do these unedited now. So I might burp, I might have a swig of water. The only thing I'll be editing is if I go over half an hour and I've got to turn the camera off and on again. That's the only thing I'm going to edit, because it just saves me time, and the idea is I want to try and get more podcasts recorded. And the time it takes me to sit and watch a whole one of my podcasts and edit it, I could have recorded another one. And I'd rather get more content out to you. And for what I edit out of these, it's just when I burp, or I have a little drink, the occasional fart. Like, it's about it. But I think you can live with that for the sake of getting more content, because I'm still talking the same shit. Getting back on point, with the relatability through the struggle, like I say, I'm mainly hitting on, there's some other kind of points I want to kick at, because through my line of work, I'm a self-employed electrician, for anyone that doesn't know. So I, meet a lot of different families, a lot of different customers, and it's all domestic work I do. I don't go around, building supermarkets or wiring up supermarkets or big office buildings or anything like that. I just go to people's homes and I do little wiring jobs, swapping sockets, shit like that. The reason I'm saying that is to make you understand that I go in people's homes and meet families often, like multiple a day. So like you can imagine how many families and people I've met through in the week. And I talk, hence one of the reasons I've got a podcast. So I'll talk to them. And I also talk when I go to the wholesaler. And there was someone at the wholesaler that mentioned something I thought was really interesting, which is along these lines of the struggle in life and the relatability and everything. And this staff member, it was at the local Screwfix. Pardon me, little burp. She mentioned that on my socials, because I'm on Facebook and Instagram, Facebook RyansRoad22, Instagram Ryans.road. And I'll put little videos on, you see, like if I'm in my van and I've got like a little brief snippet thought of a perspective or something, I'll quickly just I'll talk to my phone camera while I'm driving. And I've done a little video not too long ago about circumstances not ruining relationships, and I used an example, I believe, of my wife being a bit stressed in the morning because she was worried about the house and some stuff to do in the day, so she was being a bit short-tempered towards me and the kids. I think it's because maybe it comes across like my wife's some knife-wielding fucking maniac. But it ends, she was just a bit stressed. So I just had to touch base with her and just be like, look, I know you're stressed about this X, Y, and Z. Like, but look at what you're doing. You're starting to get a bit shirty, love. Chill out. How can I help? What can I do? What are you worried about? And I'll talk through with her. Now, my wife is on the same page as me, where she'll post on her own socials about this sort of stuff, because we're both very aware of the struggles in life, because we've got 3 young children aged 5, 4 and 2. So, at one point we had a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old and a newborn, and we get no family help or anything like that, so it's just me and the missus. So, it's fucking hard. Anyway, so I put this little video up, and the staff member at Screwfix basically said, like, mentioned about the video and how I mentioned my wife and whatnot. He says, I wouldn't have fucking had that. I wouldn't have been happy with that. Like, I was like, right. I wasn't upset or anything. I was just, me being me, I was just intrigued to fuck. Like, I'd love to have a sat down in here and been like, why? Like, why? Obviously, I know why. Because it swings round into this thing that I said near the start of this episode, where people don't like to show their struggle. Now, I know there's that old saying, don't air your dirty laundry in public. Like, yes, if my wife had fucking cheated on me or some shit, like, no, something really fucking personal, then yeah, I probably wouldn't do a fucking video about it, because, it's a bit too fucking deep, that is. Like, that's personal to deal with. Touch wood, that never happens. I'd like to think not. But I was just talking about general fucking life struggle, man. Some days you get up and, I don't know, you're worried about the day you've got at work, because you've got like a big meeting, or you've got that person that's coming in, or you've got to work on that fucking car today, you've got to go to that customer's fucking house, or there's just some aspect of your job that day that makes you go, oh, for fuck's sake, I don't want to go to fucking work today. Or you got work, but there's something else that you need to do that day. So it's something that's just making you kind of being like about the day. You're just like, oh, fuck's sake. But then in that moment, because your mental energy is being taken up by that, you've got less patience for the people around you or the other things you got to do. And it affects you in that way. Everyone does this. And this is what I mean. I really wish it was more of a fucking common thing. I wish I could see fucking Facebook posts and statuses about, I struggled this morning, X, Y, and Z. I'm okay, just want to share. We'll fucking do it. Can you imagine if everyone wrote about the little things they struggled with? I think the awareness would be way fucking better, and people would feel less bad about it. Because that's the thing. People do this shit and then they feel bad because they think that no one else fucking struggles. And that's why that staff member said, like, I would have been happy with that. Because she's in that mindset of, like, I don't want people knowing that I fucking struggle. I've got to be made out to look like my life's fucking fine. Before she actually said that, like I say, it's still interesting. I think me being polite guy that I am, I ask everyone if they're in there, like, how you doing? How's life? You all good? And she went, I'm sure she even said great or perfect, but very like, very committedly, very, very matter of fact, like, boom, yeah, I'm fucking great. I was like, wow. I remember saying, wow, like, for real, you're not just bullshitting. So no, like, I'm fucking great. I was like, well, not many people can fucking say that. So, like, if that's true, fucking happy for you. But then, moments later, saying that had that have been her partner putting a public video about her struggling, she wouldn't have been happy. That obviously paints the picture of she struggles. But then the first comment paints the picture of she's perfect. So it's like, well, you can't be great because you're reacting bad to struggling, because you wouldn't have said, I wouldn't have fucking had that if that were me, because if you were great, you wouldn't struggle like that, and therefore you wouldn't have associated with it being you. You'd have been like, oh, is your missus alright? Yeah? It's interesting, isn't it? I think so anyway. That's why I do podcasts and talk about this shit. I think it's interesting as fuck. Like, she's like, I would not have been fucking happy. Why? Why is that like intense reaction to something it should be normal. It should be as normal as saying, I enjoyed that meal at the fucking restaurant today, or at the pub, or caught up with some friends today, we had great fun. It should be that normal to be like, oh, work was fucking shit today, struggled, I was stressed, blah blah blah. It really fucking should be. So I found that, like, boom, interesting. And then still along the same lines, I had another customer I met. This was interesting more on a personal level for me, because, like, I've already touched on the age of my kids. So it's not often, and again with this relatability thing, it's not often I'll find a family with kids that are the same age gaps as mine. They're normally bigger gaps, or some variant different, or they're girls and boys. I've got 3 boys. So I went around this other customer's house and she had 4 boys, and they were exactly the same age as my 3. And then she had one. It'd be the same for me if my wife gave birth now to another boy. So that was like obviously interesting. So we got talking about some parenting stuff. And the customer's words, again, interesting, man, were, when you get parents that say their kids are perfect, they're talking out the fucking arse. And I was like, yes. I think I even finished the sentence for her. I was like, they're talking out their arse, fucking bullshit. She's like, yes. Because no kid's fucking perfect. Ever. But why would the parent choose to say that their child is perfect? Because they don't want to show their struggle. Why? Why is it back to that again? Why does it always come back to that? Like, you're not allowed to struggle. Like, you're not allowed to show that you struggle. It's fucking hard having kids, man. It's a lot of fucking time, especially if you do it properly and you put the fucking time in for them to develop into normal, functioning, healthy adults. You got to put the fucking time in, man. You got to teach them about the world. You got to teach them about life. Fucking how to eat, how to walk, how to talk, how to communicate with people, how to share, how to listen, how to play properly. How to fight properly, like how to look after themselves, in my case, how to look after the brothers, friends, mum, dad. Like, you have to teach them about life. You're a big fucking teacher when you become a parent, and it's fucking huge. And it's because you're trying to do that alongside probably having a full-time job and managing your own body and mind, and probably trying to have some involvement in your partner's body and mind, wife or husband. And you're like, and then you got to do all that with your kids as well. And if you got more than one, it's like, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. It's hard. And there's going to be days where they're naughty and they don't listen. Every fucker. I don't care who. And I bet, to be fair, the ones that say their kids are perfect are the ones that don't realise it. They're the ones that are like, Tommy, stop hitting the wall with Daddy's hammer. Told you not to pick it up. Stop. Now there's a hole in the wall. Told you stop hitting it, didn't I? Yes, now the water's leaking because you hit the pipe. I'm going to have to call the plumber now. I told you to stop. It's like, oh God, I wish I could punch people like that. Oh, take the kid away from you. That's child abuse in my head. Like, if you don't fucking parent properly, I've probably said it before in the podcast, but I always say it, like, in conversations, I think you should have to have a license to have fucking kids, man. Like, you shouldn't be allowed to have kids willy-nilly, because that's what fucks the world up. That's where we have adults that are fucking idiots, cunts, like unsociable, fucking everything, because they haven't been grown and raised when they were children. And I'm not even on. I'll fucking go on a tangent here slightly, because I want to do parenting down the line with the podcast. But you get the ones that will like have kids for the wrong fucking reasons, or like we'll say accidental, like, whoops, pregnant, fuck, no, guess the fucking woman decides to keep it, and it's like, yeah, sometimes it works out, don't get me wrong, sometimes. So there's those ones. I mean, anyone listen to this and on about that, it's like you're picturing like some shitty fucking family that's got fucking kids, and you're like, yeah, they just shouldn't have fucking kids. They're terrible. Like, can't, like, trying to live beyond the means and all that sort of shit. But what's more interesting are the ones that get trapped in the societal aspects of, like, they're in a relationship and they've been together for years, and then they've moved in and lived together for years, and then they've got married, and then they've been married for a couple of years, and then, because I see the customers, man, when I go around for domestic jobs, and they're all like them, like, and I often say, like, so I bet your parents and they're all badgering when you're gonna have kids then, and they always go, oh yeah, like, oh, my auntie keeps asking every time I see him, and my mum and this, and the family pressure, when you can have kids then, when you're gonna make me a nan, or when you're going to make me a granddad, when we're going to have grandkids, and so like putting pressure on it. People are like, oh, we'll just want to get a bit more settled, get a bit more financial, and then we'll have kids. And it's like, no. Tell you what, the people I respect more than good parents, are people that I meet and I say, you having kids? You're planning on kids? And they go, nope, don't want kids. I love my own time too much. I'm too selfish. I want my own time. I'm living my own life and I don't want kids. But they deserve a fucking medal. People like that, because yes, if that's how you feel, you should not have fucking kids, because you would be a terrible parent. No way. So you get the people that end up having kids because they just think, no, oh, well, what do we? I guess we'll have kids now because we're already married. And then you get the ones that are just fucking, woo, bone, bollocks, you're pregnant again. Oh, fuck it. Oh, guess we're having another kid then. Like, no. You can't put in the time to parent. I've got my 3 and they're all close together. But then, after the third, a couple of months back, me and the wife had the proper conversation of, well, do we want any more? And we surmised that, I always say it's time and money. I ain't got the time and I can't afford to have any more. I'd love to have another kid. I'd love to try for a little girl from my 3 boys and see how that worked. But if I'm just doing my electrics for the rest of my life as a tradesman, and my wife does cakes, does like birthday cakes and stuff, there's going to be a ceiling to how much money we can earn. And I want to be able to provide my children with opportunities to be able to experience life and find what they like and guide them so, like I say, they can become functioning normal adults. And I'm like, if I'm having another kid, then the money we've got, X amount, I don't even know how much we'd actually earn, and then time, that's suddenly divided across 4 instead of 3. So the quality goes down because there's less to give to all of them. It's like, nah, I think with the 3, with what we both, once she starts working again, because she hasn't worked since, well, the kids are little, because my youngest is still 2. But when it gets to that stage, it's like, yeah, we could probably afford to, if they want to try doing this hobby or this sport or something like that, we could afford to provide them to try something. And I'm like, I wouldn't want to be like that financially. So yeah, that's why I think you should have to have a license before having kids, just to show that you're in the mindset of like, you actually want kids, you actually want to be a parent, not just because of you feel like people are telling you to, or you accidentally fucking had one, and then you've just got a bit of fucking sense about you to like go through the struggle of doing night feeds and fucking having the patience to talk to them and discipline them correctly. Discipline is not shouting at them. Okay, that's just losing your temper. 2 different fucking things. But yeah, that's why I think you should have to have a license to be a fucking parent. Sorry, that whole fucking tangent come off of me with the customer about saying, like, you know, if someone says they got kids and they're perfect, so out their ass. So getting back to the main theme of this week is, yeah, when people say like the kids are fucking perfect, it's because they're either ignorant to the struggle and they're fucking living in loopy doopy land, or they just don't want to fucking show. They don't want to be there going, oh god, it's so them. Oh no, my kid's fine, my kid's perfect, I don't struggle. I can't let people know that I fucking let them know that I fucking sit up in the night crying sometimes because it's so hard. It's embarrassing. Can't have people knowing that. Although sometimes I think, fucking hell, I wish I never had the kid. Like, that's embarrassing. I couldn't admit that. Like, what would people think of me? Oh my god. What would people think of me? Fuck 'em, man. Get on with your fucking life. Be honest. Be real. Say you fucking struggle. Say when you're fucking happy and let yourself be happy. And then when you do fucking struggle, don't hide from it. Steer into it. Feel the fucking struggle. Handle it. Accept it. Deal with it. Push through it. Keep on fucking going. Don't hide from your shit. Fucking stop it. Getting into this now, I know. Because it pisses me off. It does. Like, on one hand, it is really interesting and intriguing. But then, like, when you're aware of how, like, hidden it is, it pisses you off, man. Because you're like, why? Why won't you just fucking admit that, like, men as well? You know what I mean? Like, that's when you get into, like, oh, like, you don't want to admit you're fucking wrong half the time. It's like, why? Why can't we just fucking be honest? Just say, like, oh, I'm fucking struggling with this, man. It's hard. Say to your fucking wife that when you're coming back from fucking work and you're having all this shit going on from work and then she wants you to do stuff around the house, that it's fucking hard, but tell her why. Don't have a go. Don't fucking lash out. Sit down, talk, communicate, explain. She'll probably open up herself about how hard it is in the day with the kids and how she doesn't get much fucking support. Maybe she does. Even if she does, it might be too much for her. And you might realise that you've been self-centred just thinking about your fucking job, where actually your wife's struggling as well. But then at least at that point, you're both on the same page, you both empathise with each other, you both understand each other's struggle, and then you can work out a system to give each other a bit of a fucking break. In that, might have to toss up where, yeah, you come back from work from a shitty day, and yeah, you might have to look after the kids all fucking evening, so your wife can have a bit of a break. So that another day, you can get back from work and just fucking chill and go to the fuck you want, or go unwind with your fucking mates, and then she's had to have the kids all day and all fucking evening and all night, depending on how young they are and whatnot. and you trade like that, or whatever system works for you, but you'll do it from communicating about your struggle, and you will relate through that, and you will bond, and you will become brothers in a husband and wife situation. Interesting, man. Love it. I love this shit. I think if anything ever comes from this fucking podcast, man, I want it to be that you fucking struggle and you admit it, and it's okay, because it's normal. It's so fucking normal to have a shitty day, or to worry about something, or just to struggle to get something fucking done because you're tired. Normal, normal, normal. And often the happiness that people portray, this isn't, see, people will say this, they'll say like, you know, people that portray their like nothing but happy lives on social media, it's just all like, it's for the socials. But to be fair, even that, people still don't fucking realise it, do they? I can't go in, obviously it's too personal for people that I know, but I know some fucking people, man, and like their socials are beautiful and their lives are a mess. Yeah. Oh God, and I fucking feel for them, I really do. And I'll often think, because you can notice little cues about the things they post and share, and you'll be like, there's little cues, well, you didn't mention that I know you mentioned, and that's kind of, you can see the smoke screen, the fade through it, and you're like, but I'm just like, I wish you'd just open up about it and just say like, it's fucking hard, because you'd probably find more support, and you'd probably find that other people would then open up, and then you'd relate, and then you get along, and then you get brothers. See, it's all good that can come from sharing the bad. It really fucking is. Really fucking is. I'm going to start wrapping it up now. Not my cock, because I said I'm not having more kids. Not what I meant by that. Dirty bastards. I'm going to touch on, like I always do, touching on my YouTube channel. I've got the podcast on YouTube. If you'd rather have a look at who the fuck you're listening to, I am on YouTube. But I've also got a fitness channel. Not like, calm down. I'm not fucking Joe Wicks, and I'm not fucking Eager Beaver. Right, you can do it. 2 more fucking jumps. No. Remember what I've just spoke about in this fucking podcast, right? My fitness channel, I do morning workouts. I get up around, I'm out in my garden gym for about 6 o'clock, and I do bodyweight training. Right. Now, the idea of the fitness channel is to, one, show that personally I think bodyweight or calisthenics is better training than doing like weightlifting or having to join a gym. If you want to build muscle, you can use bodyweight exercises with weight. So you just do weighted pull-ups or weighted push-ups or weighted dips. You know, you just add weight like you would with fucking bodybuilding, but you're doing bodyweight movements which are more natural. So you build in a more natural way, in my opinion. But you can do it with hardly any fucking equipment, like a door frame bullet bar and a set of rings, or if you've just got something to throw a set of gymnastics rings over, like you can do all the easy progressions to get to like doing a normal pull-up or a normal push-up, normal dips with a set of rings. So I've got little tutorials on there. But the main feature of my channel is the vlogs, because I vlog my early morning workouts to, one, give a loose tutorial about what I do. I don't go too much into, you see what I do, but I don't talk to it too much. It's more about like, you know, I'll be there in the vlog and I'll say like, oh, like my fucking 2-year-old was up last night crying for 2 fucking hours and blah blah blah. But to show that I've had a full fucking day at work, I've dealt with the kids on the fucking evening and everything else, I've been in here editing vlogs and recording podcasts, and then I've had that in the fucking night with the kids and fucking keeping me up, and I've had broken sleep and everything, but I'll still get up in the morning to do my workout. Because I need that. That's what gives me the energy for the day. It's the workout that helps me keep clear-minded. It gives me the energy to handle my customers, the workload, my kids, to be a good dad, to be a good husband, to be a supportive husband. A lot of it I was doing before I was working out, but since exercising, I've always knew it was there, and that's why I wanted to get back to it. It's like a fucking magic button. It makes your life clearer and cleaner, like you can view it. It's like you've took another step back in your perspective and you can see more. It's nuts. And that's why I do the vlog, so you can literally see me, and I'll talk about my struggles that day or that week that I've had with trying to work out and my life, but then showing you that I'm still doing a workout. The idea that is then people will see the struggle, And then they will relate to the struggle and say, fuck, I can relate to his struggle. I can see that he's doing it. Maybe I can too. So that's the fucking idea. That's what the fitness channel's for. That's the main thing. I have got some tutorials on there, and I do plan on doing more as I get more physical with my workouts and as I'm getting stronger and stuff like that. I do also have on there now a new series because I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Mainly like the grappling and no gi. Now I'm staying away from the gi a bit. But I vlog my classes too. And that's another thing that I think's good for like your mindset and things like that. Because it's a good de-stressor, because while you're trying not to let some fucker strangle you, you're not worrying about the kids or work or money or finances or how you look or what you're wearing or what clothes you got or what possessions you've got or any materialistic shit like that or any life stresses like that. Everything's out the fucking window. It's just, don't let this cunt choke me. Either don't let him get me or don't let him get me and then I'll get him. And I think it's a great way of just staying physical. I like to think of it in like I always say it's like an evolutionary standpoint, in our physiology and how we've been fucking built, and we're built to be physical and fucking fight, man. Back in the day, hundreds of years, we've just been fucking, there's always been wars going on throughout our fucking history, and we barely do it anymore. That's what I think. The physical exercise is good, like a workout, but then the next step up from that is doing some sort of combat. And I think jiu-jitsu is great because it's all on the ground, it's all just grappling, kind of like wrestling, but you've got submissions in it, and yeah, it's more dynamic. But I always say it's the closest you can get to have a fucking scrap and not get your face smashed in. Like, you get the odd bruise and stuff, and like arm, legs and things like that, like, oh, hurt me thumb a bit, but you don't leave the fucking gym fucking black-eyed and shit and then think, oh shit, I can't go into work like this. It's fucking great. Good cardio, good mindset. It gives you that just perspective of life of struggle and reward, because you keep going and then you get that reward of, like I used to go against that guy and he tapped me out in like seconds, whereas like now I can last a minute or 2 minutes, or maybe like now I'm going the whole round and he ain't tapping me out, and then maybe it's I'm getting a whole round, and last week I actually managed to get a submission on to him for once. Like, wow. And like, man, it feels good when you progress. It feels good when you put effort into something and then you get rewarded because you get growth, and it feels fucking great. Because it feels fucking shit when you put your time into something and it goes to fucking shit. That's why when people get cheated on and stuff like that, it completely fucks their life up, because you've put effort into a relationship and then some fuckers come along, kicked your fucking bucket over with all your effort that you've put in for how many fucking years, and went, well, that was a fucking waste. And you go, fucking great. Why do you think parents now threaten kids with deleting their fucking Roblox account and shit like that? Because they've put a lot of time into building up all their stats and shit on that game or whatever. Adults play games too, don't get me wrong. But you ain't got someone coming along to threaten to ruin your fucking data on your game when you're in your 30s. But yeah, you threaten to do that to a kid, they'll be like, oh shit, because they value the time they've put into that and they don't want it to fucking go. So that's why when you do put your time into something and it equals something good and you see improvement and growth, you're like, woo, it's a good feeling, that. It feels like life's patted you on the back. It's a good feeling. Right, I waffled on a bit more there than I normally would about the fitness stuff. So yeah, I think I touched on the socials already, but it is Ryan's Road 22 on Facebook, Ryan's.road on Instagram. I'm on TikTok, but I think I've done like 4 posts and I've left that for now because I realised I needed to put more concentration onto fixing the YouTube channels. Like, if you go through any of my YouTube channels at the minute, you'll notice like the thumbnails are pretty shitty and stuff like that, because I'm just focusing on the content, and I'll work on tidying up the pages and making them look prettier as time goes on. We're on podcast number 15, man. Like, I think when I'm on like a number 150, then it'll be like, mate, I'd expect your thumbnails to be on point by now. But while I'm on number 15, I've still got the excuse of I'm new. Haha, your expectations can be low. Yes, so they're the socials. As always, give me some fucking feedback. It'd be nice of you. Cond. If you're watching this, you watched to the end of it, let me know what you thought about it, or what you think about the series as a whole, or Maybe if I've touched on something that you can relate to, let me know. That'd be fucking great. You can email me at ryansroadpodcast@gmail.com. You can also comment on my socials. You can inbox me on my socials, anything like that. Just give me a bit of feedback. Comment on the fucking YouTube video, even it's just to tell me I've got a big nose. I'm easy. I know it's big. Come fucking tell me. Same again, if you want to come there, just tell me on my dick. You're wrong. If you disagree with something I fucking said, come and say it. Not in a confrontational way, I'm intrigued as to how I'm wrong. I'm happy to grow. If you've got a genuine fucking reason why I'm wrong, I am happy to take that on board. You should take a note of that. Everyone should live their life like that. Don't be fucking stubborn. You don't know everything and you never will. Okay? Even if you think you fucking do. I don't care if you've got a master's degree in fucking dissecting your balls from dogs' cocks or some shit. I don't give a fuck what you think you're a master at. You've not peaked. You've not filled up the bucket. There's room. There's always room for more. Room for improvement. You think you're the best fuck in the world, you can do better. If you think you can play snooker the best in the world, you can do better. You can always do better. Never fucking peak, man. Never. So yeah, if you want to comment to tell me some shit, come along. I'm all happy for the conversation. What was the last thing I was going to say? If you're struggling, mate, fucking message me. I don't mind. I had someone message me this week saying, mate, what do you do when everything seems too much? And I spent my lunch break in my van fucking messaging them and telling them what they needed to hear. If you feel like that, fucking message me. Look, now, while the fucking channel's all little and diddy and we're on number 15, I can reply to the odd fucking comment like that. If this ever works and it does get popular, which I'm trying to be mildly optimistic but realistic about, like, it'd be cool if it did, but we'll see what the fuck happens. If that ever happened, I'd still try my best. Okay? But yes, message me if you feel fucking low, if you're struggling, if you're worried. If you've come onto one of these podcasts and you've heard me say that, it's probably likely I've covered it in the series somewhere. So, like, go and have a fuck, because I'll go into more depth in the podcast. Because obviously, can you imagine if I'd wrote down everything I'd said in this podcast, mate? It'd be half a book. So I can only type so much. Go look through the fucking podcast. But yes, if you're struggling, fucking tell me. I don't want you struggling. That's why the podcast is here. That's why I'm talking to you. That's why I do my fucking fitness channel, because I want people to live happier, healthier lives. And because individually, if you could do that to more and more people, then the world would be better. And on a selfish view, then it's a better world for my sons to fucking grow up into. And my grandsons and my great-grandsons, and when I'm fucking dead and gone, the world might be a bit better. And hopefully these vlogs and fucking podcasts and YouTube and shit will all still, videos will all still be there when I'm fucking dead and gone, but the message will still be here, because life don't fucking change. Digressing slightly, that's an interesting fucking point in general. Fuck, I'm trailing today. If you look through history, like, I might start getting into some books, if not, as the podcast progresses years down the line, because I've got some I listen to, and they go into some of the old fucking books. Like, there's one I listen to, is a Navy SEAL guy, American, and he reads like war books, and it's fucking nuts, man, the amount of fucking information about wars that is in books from like centuries ago. And then he'll be like, we never did that in my fucking training, like 100, 200 years later, because you assume that knowledge has been passed down like really efficiently. Yes, we have progressed, obviously, like society's grown, and yes, knowledge has been passed on, but not in like 100% fucking matter. Probably more like a fucking 50, 60%. Because can you imagine like the struggles we have with like relationships, people, jobs, stresses, worries? Can you imagine how many years that's been going on and how many people have had to fucking deal with it? And it's like, you know, once you get through so much of it, you kind of start to realise, like, oh yeah, it's just all the same fucking shit, innit? Like, you'd think we'd all be aware of that. Like, this is why I think school's bullshit. Like, school should teach you about life, not academics. Load of fucking mess. Oh god, I'm starting to get into like a whole other podcast here, and I'm going to shut the fuck up, man, because it's been too long. I've rattled on. I still need to edit a vlog. I've got to get that done this evening. So yes, told you the socials. We've had a good chat about relatability and not hiding your fucking struggles. Yes, my wife did my hair today, so it's a bit curly for those of you on YouTube. But yeah, I just need to stop talking now, don't I? I need to go get into it today. I'm in a nice flow state, I think. just want to keep fucking talking to you. But I can't. I've got to keep the episodes separate, you know. Yes. I'm off. This has been Ryan's Road Podcast. Come fucking join me next week for the next one. Take it easy. Don't be afraid of the day. Deal with the day. Kick it in the fucking teeth. Get to it. It's okay. You'll be alright. Right, I'm off. I'll see you, hear you, speak to you. Talk to you next week. Me posing for possible thumbnails. Right. It's a bit better.